Hello, welcome to Beyond Common Business Secrets. Congratulations on being here. I'm your host, Tracey Watts Cirino, and today we are diving into a topic that every single small business owner needs to hear. And it is all about that's right, the five biggest marketing mistakes you might be making. So, marketing is one of these topics that so many business owners that I talk to on a daily basis are afraid of marketing. They don't truly understand marketing. They're confused by marketing. They're totally lost, or something else is going on there. So, here's the thing. And you might, if you're listening to this while you're driving, you might want to go back and listen to it again later. But if you're in a place that you can write notes, I suggest grabbing your notebook, grabbing a pencil, and taking some notes, because marketing is essential for your business growth. Period. It is, it will always be. But too many small business owners end up sabotaging themselves with common mistakes and missteps. But what I want to help you avoid any of these pitfalls and build a strong, strategic, successful marketing strategy that works for you and your business instead of working against you. Now, stick around until the end of this podcast episode, because I'll be sharing a bonus tip on how you can take your marketing to the next level by avoiding these mistakes and using my signature framework to simplify your marketing efforts. So we will have that for you at the end. So buckle up. This is like the very first thing and most common mistake that I see small business owners making is inauthentic messaging. I see this happen so often. Businesses that do not have a clear, they don't have a clear, authentic message across all platforms. So they just try to be like everyone else and regurgitate what everyone else is doing. So this is a problem, because when your message is inauthentic and it doesn't sound or feel like you lose your audience. Period. The end, you lose them. When it doesn't feel like you and you're not being authentic to who you are as a business, as a human, as a brand, then people don't know what you stand for. And they don't know what problem you solve or have any clue how you can help them. So this will lead to confusion, and then people don't buy. So I want to give you some examples. So sometimes you'll hear gurus say stuff like inconsistent messaging or being all over the place. Like one day your social media is talking about sales, the next it's talking about empowerment, and that they'll tell you that that's wrong. However, it is correct if it is authentic to you. Like so much of our business is about helping business owners market themselves and show up fully in their power to be their authentic self. That is a lot of marketing, and it's also empowerment. And we may throw in some random holiday that is in alignment with who we are. It's authentically aligned with who we are. Now, if you're doing all this inconsistency and you're all over the place because you're like, oh, well, this guru over here is talking about sales in this way, so I'm going to go regurgitate that. And this person is talking about this, so I'm going to, say you're a hair salon. This used to happen back in my day of owning and operating a successful salon for many years. This used to happen all the time. Tons of different marketing gurus and coaches would come out and say, oh, you want to appeal to everybody. You want to be this way and that way. And I would say, no, I don't want to do that. Like, one of the things that drove me crazy in the salon world, and maybe you can relate to this, is a partial. Why would anybody pay for something called a partial? It is not authentic. It is not consistent with any branding that I would ever put my name or stamp of approval on. So I remember when we would hire new people that came from other salons, they would be like, what's the cost of a partial? I'm like, we don't do that, because that is not a language that we ever are going to use to serve our clients. So people can go to any salon in the world that they want to get a partial. What the F is that? You're going to show up and be like half in. Like, there's enough people that have I guess you could say prejudging and different biases when it comes to the salon world. So I wouldn't give them any fuel for this. That's just like something. So that if you just do what everyone else does, then that is going to be inauthentic. And whenever you talk about that, nobody is going to hear it. But like, you hear me, I'm very passionate. Like, we would say, we highlight to your haircut. We make the haircut and color work synergistically to make you look and feel like your most fabulous self. So same thing in my coaching practice. People will say, oh, well, how much do you charge per hour? I don't do that. I do not charge by the hour. I solve problems. We work on a solution. So you can buy packages that solve your problems, because I do not like to operate from a place time is money, right? I like to operate from a place of authentically, let me be your coach and come alongside you to guide you. So this is authentic, what we do. We have different programs for people that want to go deeper and double down on their marketing and get their branding right and get their strategies right. Then I also have clients that need more work in the area of healing and life coaching, but it's a package, right? And then we have a menu of digital services that some of them are done for you. And then some of them are programs and courses that you can plug and play at any time you want to solve a problem. So like, most of you already know that we have the CEO Power Code, which is all about saving you 10 hours or more every week. It's very clear. You're not going to say, oh, is that going to teach me how to sew or how to do the plumbing in my house? No, right? And so this is the same. This is so true. So if you are somebody that owns a boutique, do not sound like everybody else. Double down on what makes you authentic. You have unique brands and you don't have things that are in every single store. That is not a weakness. That is your strength. That's your superpower. Double down on the authenticity of that. That is going to speak volumes and help you stand out in your messaging and allow the right people to find you. So you want, the way that you fix this problem is be very clear in what you want to authentically share in your brand message, because we can talk about marketing and empowerment, and I can talk about human design and shamanic practices. These all tie in to solving things at the root cause. So my authenticity exists with helping you solve a problem at the root cause, not just putting a Band-Aid over it. And this was true back in my days of doing hairdressing. This is true when I write children's books and speak on stage. I just did a huge speaking event a few weeks ago all about the power of worthiness. That when you tap into the power of believing in yourself, your authenticity shows up in the room even before you do. It's like people feel your energy. So that's how you fix it. So you want people to think of like what you want people to think of when they think of your business. Like, I know that when people think of Tracey or Beyond Common Business Secrets, they think of transformation. So anywhere in your life and business that you think, I need a transformation, this isn't working, something's broke, something is breaking down, something keeps falling off, falling off the rails. I don't like to use the terminology broken, but it can often feel like something's broken. We want to transform this. So so it's easy to remember Tracey and transformation. So that's the thing. The core message of who we are and what we do transcends everything. And people can stick with that even when I'm standing in front of a group of moms talking to them about time-saving tips to get dinner on the table quickly, but they happen to all be business owners as well, right? So it's staying true to your authenticity, even when the world is telling you a bunch of other things, right? Even when the world says, oh no, just consistently do what everyone else is doing. You know what? That's working for them because they're being authentic to them. If you want to stand out in the world of marketing, you need to double down on your weirdness, right? Like, what makes you weird? I talk a lot and I get thirsty. Like, a million years ago, I would have hid that and been like, oh, we have to edit that out. But no, like when we started this podcast, it was the authenticity of, you know what? It's not going to be highly polished, edited. We're going to be raw of who we are. And it's the same thing when we bring the guests on. So of course, I can probably go on about the inauthenticity for days, but we need to move on because we got a lot of amazing things to cover today. So mistake number 2 would be poor audience targeting. So like when you make the mistake of, this is like such a major issue because I see it all the time. I've been so guilty of it. It's like you want it to appeal to everyone, so it appeals to no one, right? So when you realize that, hey, I like in our business now, I primarily work with small business owners that are experts in their field, that are wanting to transform some area of their life and business, right? Like I'm very clear on that. Now, men still reach out and become our clients. I know, shocking, right? But I'm not talking to everyone, and that's okay. So I want you to think about this. Like, how can you narrow in on a target audience? Like, we're doing a retreat in a few weeks, and it is for small business owners that are ready to move beyond boundaries and release anything negative that's been getting in their way. So that is very specific. And then an extra layer of that is that we are doing it and marketing it to a lot of salon owners because this is an area that is very useful for them. As a former salon owner myself, like I know that. Now we've had photographers sign up for it. We've had a few boutique owners sign up, and we also have a woman that sells insurance sign up. The thing is that in the marketing, we made it for salon owners, but these people know that they can benefit from it. So you see how that works? You don't need to talk to everyone in the world to attract them. When you talk to one target segment, people know what you do. So that becomes very specific. And why this can be a problem is like when you're trying to speak to everyone, you're talking to no one. Like this is the best example. You ever been in a classroom as a kid and they were like, all of you did this. You're sitting in the classroom and you're like, oh, they're talking about the people that didn't throw their lunch boxes away. Oh, I did. So you tune out and you think that they're not talking to you. Well, what if you actually didn't. So instead of using the specific names of the people that made the mistake, we are generalizing everything, and then no one's hearing you. This is the same thing in marketing. Like, I talk to my kids about this all the time, right? This is the same thing in marketing. Like, when we generalize stuff, then nobody's listening, especially the people that you want to hear the message. So, it's a problem because, like, when you're speaking to no one, you can't solve everyone's problems, but you can be that sort of perfect solution for a specific group of people. So I know specifically that a lot of salon owners right now are struggling with the identity of what their business used to be before COVID, the identity of what their business used to be before the change in recession, the identity of who they used to be before they lost the last 5 employees, the identity of who they used to be before they became a little bit tarnished, a little bit stepped all over, and maybe even a little bit callous now, right? Because they've been through it all. We know this. And so the problem that we're solving is, let's put the spirit of business back into what you're doing and release any limiting, toxic, old limiting beliefs or energies that are keeping you stuck. You know, that's very, very clear. And that's why we're doing the Beyond Boundaries salon owners retreat. And the thing is that when you're that specific about who you're helping, it makes everything else easier. Another thing is, like, when we launch the Winter Owl Experience Box is for families that are really focused on creating reading as a priority in their children. So if you're somebody that is never going to care about reading, you're not the target market. But parents that really know the benefit of getting their kids excited and even addicted to reading from a young age are obsessed and love the Winter Owl Experience Box. That's who we market it to. So you see, if I just said it's for everyone, ages 0 to 10, then, you know, we lose a lot. But it's like for the families of these children that are really excited about reading. You know, another example could be like a fitness coach. If you say that you're trying to market both to like professional athletes and stay-at-home moms, the messaging is going to get diluted, right? It's going to get diluted. Instead, choose one group and create your content tailored specifically for them. Now, it doesn't mean that, so say you chose stay-at-home mom, that's going to be like your main target audience. That's who you're making content for. That's what you're showing up for on social. Great. Now, over here, you could be asked to speak at an event that is for professional athletes. Then you would change it because then your audience is in the room. You see, if you just stood in both places and said the same thing to the stay-at-home moms and the professional athletes, none of it would land. So you want to be aware of who's in your room. And this is like, if you're on the street, like, you need to tailor your message when you're marketing it. You need to be targeting your audience wherever you are. So the first thing you want to do to fix this is get really, really clear on your ideal customer. Yes, get super clear. Who are they? What do they need? How do they spend their time? What problem are they suffering from, and how can you solve it? Then you want to create your marketing message to speak directly to that audience. Now, you may have multiple target audiences. That is fine. You're going to know when to speak to that specific audience. That's how you sort of you segment your audience, right? But the thing is that you don't want to be generalizing everything, because then it lands with no one. So moving on to mistake number 3 that I see is no follow-up strategy. And let me tell you, I am still a work in progress on this one because I drop the ball on this one all the time. Like, we have started creating new follow-up strategies and systems so that my team holds me accountable and able to do it, because this is not my forte. So if I can do it, friend, I know you can. So mistake number 3 is the no follow-up strategy. So this is something that can seriously limit your sales potential by not having a follow-up strategy. So the biggest problem I see, like why it's a problem, is that most sales are made after multiple touch points. So multiple touch points, multiple times you connect. Yet so many business owners never follow up after the first interaction. You might be losing customers just because you didn't take the time to check back in with them. And I remember reading a study not that long ago. I think it was Forbes magazine, but it could have also been Entrepreneur. And it said that most people give up after, most business owners give up after 2 attempts, but most people buy after 9 touch points. Woo, talk about a gap. So just think about that. Think of 9 touch points that you can lead every client through and see how that works for you. So this happens often. Like, you might meet a potential client at an event, you send them an email, and when they don't respond, you just completely forget about them. Guilty. I just forget about it, right? So now I have a spreadsheet that I put their name on. And if I'm really excited about working with them, I will follow up with them. Another thing you could get is, like, you get this inquiry on social media, and then you follow up, and maybe they didn't book a time with you, or they didn't buy the program that they were asking about, or they didn't come in to see you. So you leave it at that. Like, you never follow up again. So those are those moments that if you just follow up a few more times, you will get such a windfall of more sales coming your way. Plus, like, they end up becoming really strategic relationships that you build. So what you want to do is, how you fix this is set up an automated follow-up process. So right now, my team and I have a spreadsheet, just a complete, simple Google spreadsheet that we are getting this system and strategy down. So I'm teaching you this. This is literally happening right now for us. And we are marking down what our touch points are. Now, once we've tested all these multiple touch points, then we're going to put it into our CRM software. And I use the FG funnel software, which is amazing for this because it tracks. Now, personally, I like to test it on the spreadsheet because then we can see what's working before we make it into a huge strategy within our company. So we are writing down that, like, different series of emails, texts, phone calls. We're testing different things that work for our audience. Like, sometimes when I speak, I get so much better traction from offering a strategy call. And usually when it's a paid strategy call, more people actually do it and they show up, and it's an awesome thing. Now, sometimes online people are like, oh, you have to do that for free. No, that's not authentic to my brand. So it's really interesting when you get into the nuances of this, so really think about the key to being consistent with follow-up is checking in after initial contact. And making it fun. Like, what are things that you can do to wow people? I wrote about that in Beyond Common, the 12 Essentials to Success in Life in the Workplace. It's like, what can you do to be that standout? We have a whole chapter dedicated to that. So if you have not read Beyond Common, the 12 Essentials to Success in Life in the Workplace, I highly recommend that you pick it up and you dive deep into the chapters that are all about helping you really, really go through the follow-up strategy. Okay, so number 4 is ignoring data and analytics. So sometimes it's just fun, like, oh, we're just going to create. Well, this is a huge mistake when you ignore your data. And as a business owner, this is an easy one to slide under the rug. You get so busy, you get caught up in everything that you just forget and lose your mind, right? You don't have time. So this is a big one for for small business owners, salon owners. This is, I have a lot of clients that are coaches, authors. I have some clients that own skincare boutiques and like high-end clothing boutiques. And what happens to everyone is that they're either too busy, right? They're just too busy. Like, I'm just going to go for the sale today, right? I'm just going to do what's most important today. So what happens is you're too busy, you're too overwhelmed to look at your numbers. Now, this is a problem because numbers don't lie, but our hormones, our emotions, they kind of lie to us. And we might have felt a certain way that day, but it was actually the best day we've ever had. But we wouldn't know it because maybe, our hormones were acting up and we kind of felt, ugh, right? And then you go back and look at, that was the best day of the entire month that we've had. What did we do? Well, you're not going to know because you didn't keep track of your data. So you want to look, like, whether it's your website traffic, your social media engagement, your email open rates, your sales numbers, your retention, every single business that we work with at Beyond Common Coaching and Training Company, we help them strategically pick their KPI. Every single business has a unique set of key performance indicators, and it's different in different industries. It's different in different businesses. And this is where you start when it comes to solving this problem of ignoring your data. So, like, another example is, like, you might think your Instagram strategy is really working because you're getting likes. Well, that's a vanity metric, but it's not converting to sales. Okay, that could be a problem. Now, I used to think for a really long time that my Instagram, like, oh, we got to put so much attention on it because we're not getting as many likes and shares as I would like. Well, upon further investigation of the data, we convert. So I happen to have a lot of quiet lurkers that will either email me because of something that we've posted on Instagram or instant message me. So we have stopped chasing likes and comments because our clients do not do that. And hey, that is making us more money than when we were doing it the other way. Now, you might find something different, but without knowing the data, we wouldn't know, right? So that is, like, not our, like, number one thing that we need to do. So how you fix this is take time each week to review your data, really go through what's working, what's not working. Use the information to to just fine tune, refine, and tweak your marketing focus on all the areas that actually drive results, right? Like, if you put a post out there and it brings 10 people into your store, but nobody actually liked it, it's okay. It's okay. Your social media marketing is actually doing its job. It's actually giving you dollars in your bank account, which is much better than worrying about how many likes or comments you got. So just be mindful that when we start diving into the data, the analytics are for us to look at a whole gamut of other things. So the way you fix this is you take the time every week. And when we are working with a lot of our clients that we do marketing services for, we have a spreadsheet where we track and have it available for them to go over as well. We highly encourage that they take this tracking sheet and use it with their team so that their team sees all the things that are growing in the marketing strategy. So really, really utilizing it that way as a way to inform your team and even like better engage with the people on your team. It's really, really useful. It gets everyone on the same page. So the fifth mistake that I see happening all the time is, it's so funny that I'm saying this because I have definitely changed my belief on this, but the fifth mistake I see is underutilizing social media. So mistake number 5 is all about not maximizing your full potential with social media. And I don't just mean not posting enough. Many small business owners miss out on social media's full potential. This is an area that people want to like cut corners or cut costs. But how did we start off our podcast today? We talked about the marketing mistakes. What you don't want to do is ever cut your marketing budget. When you are getting less sales than you want, it's actually a sign that you need to up your marketing, right? So utilize everything that's free, especially social media. Now, if you have to pay for an expert strategist to come in and help you map that out at a high level, it's worth investing every dollar. And it's something that we love to do for you. So don't hesitate to reach out for that. So here's the thing. When we look at number 5, being the mistake of underutilizing social media and not using it to your full potential, this is really a problem because right now, one video that you make about something so silly and that you were like, oh, I don't know, and your business can go absolutely viral, right? One video. That was not always the case. So you could be like one video away from completely changing the trajectory of your business forever. So put it out there. Get strategic about social media and utilize it to the maximum of your potential and capabilities. And if you need help in this area, reach out. We love helping our clients with this. So, why this is such a problem is because social media is one of those most powerful free tools available to small businesses. Now, because it's free, we sometimes don't think it has value. Where this is where it trips us up. Like if we put a little bit of our marketing budget on getting really educated with a high level social media strategist, that can work wonders for our brands, not just for today, but for years to come. So you want to think about it in this way, because when we just look at it like, oh, it's a free tool, like then it makes us not want to do it. But it's like not enough to just show up once in a while and randomly post without a plan. Like, oh, we're going to have this special. This happens to me a lot when I'm working with my coaching clients, like they have an event coming up. So they only want to really post because the event that they're doing is coming up. Or salon owners, like they have a big sale coming up. So they're going to post about that. So that is great. We need to do that. Like it's like start somewhere, but you also need to consistently be showing all the things that you offer. You can use a strategy of like fun things to showcase your different team members, why you do things different than other people, right? Like I talk a lot about transformation. Okay, it happens to rhyme with Tracey. That is easy to make some content around. So don't be afraid to like tap into things that are a little bit out of the box, right? So the other thing is like some examples are maybe you only post every few weeks and then you're like, oh, well, why didn't I get any engagement? Well, that's kind of not enough. It's an algorithm. So we kind of have to feed it what it wants, right? Just like anything else, like, you can't feed a baby anything but formula because that's what babies need. Well, we got to feed social media what it wants. That's feeding the algorithm. So you also might be using one platform and ignoring all your ideal audience, like if they're actually hanging out in a different area. So this is another area like we like to dive into when we're working with new marketing clients, is really diving into what area they want to really reach, because when they're really clear on their ideal client, we can figure out what's the best social media platform. And sometimes it's a strategy of figuring out how to dominate 2 or 3. And then once you get that down, then we spread the love to the other ones. But without the data and the putting the marketing out there, you won't be able to do this part, right? It'll just be like, okay, well, maybe I don't know where people are hanging out. And then it's going to feel like, oh, that social media stuff doesn't work. When it does, you just have to have the right strategy, and you have to be willing to fix it, test it, tweak it, do all the things. So one of the first things we do is we create a content calendar and post consistently. And this is absolutely something this is how you can fix it. You can do that on your own. You can take a simple Google Doc and figure this out. You want to engage with your followers. You want to use the right platforms that align with your type of business and where your ideal clients are hanging out. And you don't want to be afraid to experiment with new formats. I know I was like really nervous about Reels in the beginning. Now we do a ton of them. I was petrified of live video. It's one of my absolute favorites. And we definitely have a lot of clients that do amazing with stories. And that's an area that I probably could stand to, like, our next hire is going to be somebody that can do even more social for us. So yeah, so isn't that funny? Like it's kind of like the cobbler's kids. Like we do so much marketing for other people, our suffers. So that's an area I could get better at in my stories, right? So these are things that you can do right away to get yourself in action. So as promised, I've got a bonus for you. If you really truly want to stand out in your marketing and focus on building relationships, we have a training called the how to tap into your business voice. And when you're able to tap into your business voice, you are able to use your voice across all of your marketing opportunities and channels and really double down. So you can grab that at beyondcommonbusinessssecrets.com/voice and sign up and get that absolutely free. Now, this was a training that I believe the first time attendees paid about $497 for, and we are giving you this absolutely free because we know how badly people need help in the area of marketing. So this is my free gift to you. So, and this is also like really will help you focus on building the right strategic relationships in your business. So when you think about the biggest takeaway from this, it's like marketing is not just about selling. It's about building trust and nurturing relationships with your online audience, with your local audience, with your local networking group. This is about being authentic, showing up consistently as your true authentic self. And you make your audience feel heard and understood. This is where the real magic happens. Now, we did an incomplete series of podcast episodes all about diving into your human design. And that is a great place to start on your journey to really digging into your authenticity. So if you haven't listened to those or watched those videos, I highly recommend you go back a few episodes back and look at the series that we did on human design. This is a great way for you to get started. And then just to recap the 5 mistakes, we had the inauthentic messaging, we had the poor audience targeting. Number 3 was having no follow-up strategy. Number 4 was ignoring data and analytics. And I know there's a million other things we'd rather be doing, but so important. If you've only had slow growth and you want to catapult, that is an area to dig into. And then number 5 is underutilizing social media because of the fear of like, oh, well, it's free, so why do I bother, right? Like when you put some money and energy and strategy into this can be a game changer and truly change the trajectory of your business so that you can set up your business to have long-term revenue growth for years and years to come. So it's so, so important. So If you've recognized any of these mistakes in your own business, don't worry, my friend, I'm here. I'm here to support you, and there's always time to course correct. That is why we created this episode. So you can start by implementing just one of these changes today. And if you need help refining your marketing strategy, do not hesitate to reach out. I will put the deep dive marketing strategy call link in the show notes so that you can join me for a deep dive strategy session. And the way it works is that you pay for the call, and then you can use that money towards a marketing package that you may purchase. Now, if you choose to totally do your strategy on your own, which you can, that is all good. You will have a strategy that you can go out and implement. If you already have a team in place, they can implement it for you. And it'll be ready to plug and play. Or you take that money that you've invested in our strategy session and you apply it to working with me and our team. So your choice, but you walk away with things of value. And this is an area I'm super passionate about because I see so many small business owners struggling. Now, the other thing, if you want to start implementing these changes right away, you have this whole podcast, the 5 mistakes to go ahead and get started. If you want a deeper dive and want to work together, book the deep dive marketing strategy session with me today. I would love to be your guide and help you on this journey. If you want to go even deeper on your own, grab the how to use your business voice guide. Again, that is beyondcommonbusinesssecrets.com/voice. And you can grab that free training right there. So as always, friend, I hope you are having a beyond amazing day. Make sure you are subscribed to Beyond Common Business Secrets, both here on whatever podcast channel you're listening to and on our YouTube channel. Please share this so that we can be helping more and more people grow their business. And if you found today's show valuable, please leave a review and share this with your business owner besties or anyone you know that will benefit. Until next time, keep growing, keep moving, keep being amazing, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.